morning, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. What are we? Tuesday today. I'm just heading over. It's a bit after 6. So irrigating. If you watched the last one, we got that. We've been playing around. The conditions here. We're in southern Riverina in Australia. Southern New South Wales in Australia. Conditions are where we are getting pretty dry. We're only about 170, 180 mil of rainfall to date for the year, and most of that has fallen within the growing season. Probably 150 that's fallen within the growing season. So yeah, at the moment we're just trying to get as much irrigation water on what crop we can irrigate. If you watched the last one, we've been mucking around with this hard hose irrigator, which yesterday I think we're going to get it. I think it's going to work out all right. So what was happening was it would run for. And sorry, at the moment I'm just going over to change irrigation water. If you're wondering where I'm driving, I think what was happening was we put all new sensors and that sort of stuff on it, and we put a new speed sensor on it, and just to monitor how quickly it winds the wheel in, the hose in, and just a little tab, sort of the gap in the sensor, but with the sensors. Gap for the sensor wasn't quite 100%, so it'd run for 10 minutes and then stop because it wasn't reading speed, which is an easy fix. And then the other one, and again I've spoken about Daryl from Turbo Reel down in Terrelgan. He's been fantastic with his help. We've got some bits and pieces off him. I just found him on the internet. So what's happened with that one is the sheep that should have been shorn last week. It wasn't. Sorry. What I didn't know is when we should have the computer running to program it when we actually pulled the hose out off the reel, so the computer could count how much hose we had. But I think given because again it keeps sort of was stopping again, but I think with not knowing, because the speed sensor wasn't set up right, it wouldn't have counted the hose properly anyway on the way out. So that's cool. So I think we're sort of pretty right. I brought the motor home back last night when it had finished irrigating where we were, and dropped the oil out of the motor. Again, we don't know anything about this thing. We've just got it on loan to start with. The guys just said, look, if you can get it, just take it and see if we can get it to go. So we're just giving the motor a service now, and then we're going to bring it over to our new block over here and try and get some water on some of the crop here. Now, some of the crop here is actually starting to die, and probably just goes to show that when you compare it to our crop that went in on time and that was direct drilled and that sort of stuff, here there was sort of no summer spray done. Country had been cultivated a couple of times, and it probably went in a fraction late. So it just didn't. One, we didn't have probably stored moisture anyway, and two, cultivating it a couple of times hasn't probably done a lot for it. So anyway, look, we had a bit of a trial run with some water the other day, and where we have water, the crop has responded. So we're just going to try. We're going to try and get some water on it. We can't just sort of leave it to die. It's not good enough to cut for hail, silage or anything like that. We just don't have the growth. So at least, if we could get 20, 25 mil of rain on parts of it, we're not going to be able to water all of it, get 40, 50 hectares maybe. It's better than nothing. So we'll just have to try when we sort of got conditions like this. You just got to do what you can do. So what we're doing at the moment, I'm just going over. I got up about. You'll probably think I talk lots, and I probably do. But anyway, I've borrowed a floating pump off a mate, and we've got it in the channel here. We've got some areas here on it at what we call our dairy block. Sorry, I've got it fogging up. You probably can't see it. instruction manual there and was blocking the vent and fogging up. So yeah, we've got areas on our dairy block that have been lasered before, but we've never, when we sort of bought the place and cleaned it up, the channel infrastructure was buggered, so we just sort of put outlets back where we thought, where the layout was good and that sort of thing. So we're trying to water areas that we've never watered before, and it's actually worked pretty well. So what we've got here, and you'll see in a minute, we've got a floating pump that you just sit in the channel and effectively just pump over the channel meter. So I'm just going over. I come over about 11:30 last night. Our water monitor went off. So yeah, just to change it, and the motor was, I don't know, the motor was playing up a little bit. It had run for a couple of minutes and then stopped, so I'm just, I haven't had breakfast yet, so I'm just making sure it's gonna run. So anyway, a bit of a foggy start. So yeah, the plan is today, yesterday Tony sprayed all over where we're heading now. We've got a block that we heavily grazed. Tony sprayed it out, and the plan is it's going to go into corn. So Brendan's been over here putting up an electric fence. We're going to bring all the ewes over here again, like we did before, and just flog that area out, and then we'll start and getting it knocked into shape. So Brendan's got to finish doing that, and then I'm going to get him starting to work the corn grounded, cultivate the corn ground at home. I'm going to put the big tractor on the little disc, just because I need the little tractor needs a good service, and two, I just need it for this irrigation job in a couple of spots. One to move the hard hose irrigator. So that's his job today. Tony, I'm going to get him to give me a hand. He obviously was spraying yesterday and he serviced another pump for me. So I'm going to get him to give me a hand today. We've got some aluminium pipes there that I spoke about, just to give us a bit more length with this hard hosed irrigator. So we've got to make an adapter up from that. So we'll get in the workshop with that today, and try and make an adapter up. We probably won't get it going today. It'll be probably more so tomorrow, but it's going to be enough to do today anyway. So we've got the telehandler here. We brought it over yesterday just to lift this pump off the trailer. So I'm going to be at Lazy Bones and drive down here and see what the go is. So it's just a little 6-inch pump. It's got a poly pontoons underneath it, and I don't know what, and just a bit like a motor. It's obviously bigger than it's on a push mower, and it's just got a shaft down to the pump underneath, and then we've just got some lay flat hose over the bank, and just pumping it down there, and then I've got the water monitor set up down there in the fog. So works pretty well. Pumps a lot of water. Like we had 6 megs going last night, and I had to up it, or yesterday, and I had to up it to 8 just to keep it up, keep the water up to it, so which is good, so we can force it across it. So the old check banks are still here, all very slightly. They're not big and profound, but they've been enough to keep the water where it needs to be. I was just going to wander down and just see where you can sort of see here the crop's starting to tip off, so it's just moisture stress. You'll actually be able to see in the daylight where the water's been, clear as clear. So here's a bank here, an old one, so it's probably should have wore some waders or something. It's a good way to get wet knees because the crop's up above my gumboots. Anyway, that's all right. We'll shuffle down here and see what we can find into the mist. Here's my little mate. So the water's actually here at the monitor. Those of you who haven't been watching along, we've just got this little gadget here that it's got sensors in the bottom of it. So the water's, it's got sensors in the bottom of it, and when we just sit at the end of the bays where we want the water to shut off, and it sends a text message. So it sent me a text message at 11:30 last night, and yeah, it would be about to send me a text message, I reckon. Actually stand on it so the water runs in. There you go. It's got a little strobe light on it that starts flashing, and I would imagine any time now it'll send a text message. So while we're here, I sort of thought that it'd on cue. There you go. I always sort of set that up. Yeah, so while I'm here, I'll shift it, and we can shift the pump, and yeah. So I know, yeah, roughly 6 hours, and we can move it again. So it's only just here, like, but yeah, we don't really have any recycle here, so we don't want to sort of try to overwater too much if we can help it. So. And again, the banks are sort of here, you can sort of see them, but I'm sort of guessing a little bit too. So we'll just move it across X amount, and then we'll move the pump to suit. Got cold knees, if that's any consolation. The water out of this lay flat hose, and yeah, then we'll get this thing just push it up the channel. So it's not too bad. Last night I had a bit of a battle because it was the sort of the extra water we'd ordered hadn't caught up, so it was sort of dragging on the bottom, and hopefully this morning it'll move a fair bit easier. What we'll do, once we finish, I've watered a bit of the pasture over here. Once we get the crop water, we'll come back. There's 3 bays left here that we need to pump. Yeah, we'll do it. And the plan is to bring the ewe lambs over here. The clover and lucern's not brilliant, but it's going to be not bad feed all the time. Everything's a bit cold. It's been playing up a little bit, this motor, when you restart it. We're going to think it might be quite stupid oil change, so we'll have to probably phone in and come over. And it'll be about midday, come up 12 the next change, so we might even just do it. Next water change, we might even just do it then. I don't know know why it does it a couple of times and then it seems to settle down, so we'll just, yeah. Thankfully we're not pulling on a saddle rope. Anyway, we're going to go, we'll just hang about here till it decides it's going to run properly. Oh no, I've had a bit of brekkie, a couple of cups of coffee to charge the batteries. The boys have turned up. Brendan's just headed over to finish off putting up electric fence. Tony's just servicing the motor on for the hard-hosed irrigator. I should have showed you. The pump has got a bit like a transfer case between the pump and the motor, and it's actually got gear oil in it. I think my mate said 80W90 gear oil, so it's reasonably thick, and it was a bit milky when we first picked this thing up. It's got a dipstick in that big check door. Yeah, and then I'd always intended, we've got filters and that for it, we always intended to service it once we got it going, so I took it home last night, dropped the oils out of it, and the oil that came out of the gearbox is, hopefully it's still there, I'll show you if I think of it, but it was like a thick milk consistency, so there's a bit of water getting in there somewhere. I don't know whether it's coming in the top of the filler bung, so whether we cut a bit of a drum in a U shape and put it over it just as a bit of a shield, just to try and keep the water out of it, but I'm not too sure whether it's, because there is a bit of water getting around, but you probably would have seen if you watched the last video out of the tap on the top of the pump, there's a bit of water getting around at times, so we might just have to try and, yeah, just make a shield up just to keep the water off the top of the pump and off where the bung is to fill it, so not a major drama. I'm sort of a bit gun shy because we've got no watchdog, like no stuff on that pump to tell us what the temperature is or anything like that. All that's been disregarded, and I did look at pricing up a watchdog, what they call a watchdog, so they basically oil pressure, temperature, and also you can get them with water pressure, so if it loses water pressure or runs out of water it stops. So I have sort of looked into that briefly, and look, if we do end up buying this thing or something, yeah, I'd definitely put one of them on it, just so you know that when the pump's running, if something goes wrong, it does a fan belt or something like that, it's going to shut down, because at the moment we've got none of that, so we're flying a bit blind, which makes me a bit nervous, but anyway, it is what it is, unfortunately. So I'm just heading over in the little tractor to pick these pipes up, the aluminium pipes, and what we're going to do is, the guy that used to own the farm here, he's got a trailer load of 4-inch aluminium pipes, so it's about roughly 400 metres. So we're going to run them out, but I need to make up an adapter from the pipes, from the pump to the pipes and then to the irrigator. So I've got some fittings there that I got yesterday, so I'm just going to pick the tyres on this trailer because they haven't been used for ages. The tyres on this trailer are buggered, so I've just got the hay forks here. I'm going to try and pick the whole trailer, the whole shooting match up, and carry it over to where we need it to be, and then, yeah, whether I run a few pipes out now, just to get a bit of an idea of what we're doing, and where we're going to set the pump up. We just thought we'd do it this way for starters, and that way we can effectively water 800 metres or thereabouts without having to shift the pump along the channel, which is, because it is not the easiest thing to shift. It's alright, but it's, yeah, you've got this, when you shift it, then you've got to reprime it and that sort of thing. If we can just leave it in the one spot and just move the irrigator along as it does the section, it'll be a damn sight easier. So you'll get the hang of it, you'll get the drift of it once we get going. So that's if you keep watching. So, anyway, next door's watering pretty well. So again, we'll service that pump at lunchtime when the next change is due. So when the road grader was here the other day, we've got a bit of a thoroughfare here that we've created, so we've got him to grade it Yeah, so it just runs down the south side of the farm, and yeah, we'll use this. Well, we've been using it, and we'll continue to use it to sort of get between the two farms. So I'm still a bit conscious because the guys are still living in the house here. So I'm not coming when we're changing irrigation water. I'm not coming through it here at midnight and that sort of stuff. But yeah, any other time of the day, it works pretty well. Just had to hold my mouth right, but yeah. Work alright, I think. I brought the hay forks over just so we've got a bit more spread of weight, because they are quite long, these things. But yeah, we'll get them round there and see if we can run a few out, and you'll get a bit of an idea of what we're going to do. So I'll just show you here some of this, around the trees. It's probably nearly too late for water, but if we just go over here, old mate had a block here that he used to irrigate, and you can just see, I don't know when I couldn't tell you the last time he irrigated it, but you can clearly see, we probably made it blue by coming in and flattening everything, but anyway, it is what it is now. But there's a clear line here of where the old channel was, and that looks quite good on that side, and that probably looks like the rest of our crop, like our dryland country. But yeah, and then it's yeah, about a foot high, or not even a foot high, and it's just trying to throw a head out. So there's not even, I think I mentioned it, there's not even worth cutting for hay. So yeah, if we can, it is a lot of mucking around this, there's a bit of work in it, but yeah, if we can get it up, if we can keep it alive, and we might jag some rain. But yeah, just, as I said earlier, just goes to show summer spraying, not cultivating and that sort of stuff, but we just sort of did a reset here, planting a new block. And yeah, years like this, there's a lot to be said for, stubble retention and not burning and keeping that ground cover and that. So anyway, so what we're doing here is, we've got the pipes, so we're just running them out, and they've just got a half turn. They've got a little latch on the end of them, and you can see they've got a rubber in there, and they just slip in, and then the hook hooks on there. So I'm just running them out here, just going to do a straight line. The channel does a turn and then heads to the west down there, so I'm just going to run these out, and we'll probably set the pump up there, and then we can set the irrigator up here, and as we can just do 60 or 70 metre sections, and then pick the pipes up and run the pipes to the west and work back. So we sort of should be able to water a fair chunk of this quarter, and then yeah, we'll just see how we going. But what do? You got to try. So we could just walk away from it and just say bugger it and just concentrate on what we can irrigate easily, but yeah, this thing should work alright now that we've got the bugs out of it. So I probably should have one of the blokes here driving the tractor for me, so, but anyway, I don't. So I'll get to and get these run out. You can't actually see where I've laid them out in the crop, but anyway, that's alright. one, so it's probably more good luck than good management. So we've just ended up here at the corner where it does drop down. So what we'll do is we'll dig a bit of a sump here, I think, and fill the end in, so the water won't actually go any further than here for the time being. So we've got there's half a dozen or so pipes there that have got a bit twisted and bent and been squashed and that sort of stuff. So I've just got my little counter wheel here. I'm just going to run back just to give us a bit of an idea of what we've got in lengthwise, and then obviously we'll set the pump up here, and then we can, once we get the irrigator back to here, we can pack the pipes up and run them out that way. And it should work all right, hopefully. We haven't got enough hose to go right to the far boundary, so we're not going to get all of it, but we'll get a good patch of it anyway. You can see, hopefully you can see that where the channel, this bank blew out, you can see where the water's sort of gone, the different colour, the lighter green. So it's reacted quite well to water. So that's probably why we're dicking around trying to do what we do. So anyway, we'll get this counted out, and then I'll slip back to the workshop. I'll take a bit of this pipe back, and we need to make up an adapter so we can get from the pump to the pipe, and then from the pipe to the irrigator. Back at the workshop, so what I'm doing is I've got a bit of the aluminium pipes. So what we need to do is we need to get from that fitting, which is on the pump and on the irrigator, to essentially these fittings for the pipes. So what I've got is, and it's pretty cheap and nasty way of doing it, but it's going to work out all right. So I've just got some 4-inch cam lock fittings. So I've got one there with a hose tail, so I've just stuck him in the end of the lay flat, so that'll go on to the irrigator, and then it doesn't matter which way I do it, but I've got another one here that I might cut it down a bit. I may actually cut the barber off it altogether and then just butt it up to that. I'll just see. I haven't worked that one out yet. I'll start with the other one first. But this, that threaded fitting, it fits snug on there, so I'm just gonna I'll clean that up. One thing with aluminium, you need to get it pretty clean for it to weld good. So I'll clean the inside of that pipe up a bit better first, and then I may even get the oxy and preheat that cam lock fitting a bit, because with the TIG it'll take a bit of getting the heat into it, and then it'll just be a case of running a nice speed round there, and that's probably all that I'll do, because we've got a fair gap around the back of it here. So we'll just try that and see how it goes, but if we get a good weld in there, I think it should be okay. Just got a 60 grit thing that I'll put in the drill. rookie error. Got the wrong tungsten in. So hang on, I'll have another go. Probably lost a little bit of heat out of it, but anyway, we'll see how it goes. Not that it's really going to matter, but oh. This square's a bit big. Alright, so I've just put 4 tacks on it, so I'll just rotate it as I weld it. It is getting a bit of heat back into it, so but yeah, there's a bit of a gap there. I'll just tap down as I go. It should come up alright. Having a bit of a battle. Half of it's pretty good. The other half's, because the old aluminium's, pretty dirty and crappy. I've done the best I can to clean it up. I'm getting a fair bit of oxidisation and it's just not happening. So I'll get die grinder and clean that out and have another crack at it and see how we go. But some of it's, I'll just spin it around. One half's pretty good there, it's going to be alright, but yeah, it's just the other half's a bit ordinary, so we'll have a tidy up and see how we go. So it's not pretty, but I think it will do the job. It did get a little bit better as I sort of went into it. It may drip a leak a little bit, but I don't think it'll come off. So so I've got to fly into town now just to get some stuff for Tony, some more, so he can service that motor over that's pumping. But apart from making up the other fitting here, which won't take long, whether I stick that in the lathe and part it off so it butts up a bit flatter or what, I'll just see. But we're nearly right to set it up and see how it goes. We've just come down to see Brendan. He started chopping the corn stubble up, so there's still a fair bit of stuff floating around, so I'll just say we might even disc it twice perhaps. We'll put whether we chop it up twice with the heavy disc and then give it a hit with the speed tiller, and it mightn't be too bad then. But yeah, it is coming up reasonably cloddy, but which was sort of to be expected anyway. So But yeah, I think there'll be too much material here to get the grader board across it. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes. But it's going to come up all right at the moment. It's sort of probably ideal. Could have been probably just a week earlier, but it's kind of like some spots it's probably a fraction hard, but generally here it's the bulk of it's going to be pretty good. It's going to disc up really well. I'd fast forward a few hours and it's now dark, so we're about 9:30. Yeah, don't know what happened earlier on. The GoPro chucked a wobbly and yeah, I had to pull it to bits to get it to charge it. So yeah, anyway, what did we do? So yeah, we've got all the connections right for that pump. The other fitting, I was talking to Tony about it, and what we've actually done is, rather than welding that other fitting like I was going to do, we actually just got a bit of the 4-inch aluminium pipe and with the clip on the end of it, and belted it up the lay flat hose, and we put 3 clamps around it. So we'll just see how it goes. It might work pretty well. So that'll hook onto it'll be at the sprinkler end and hook onto the pipes, and then yeah, we've got the other end sorted out with the pump. We took the pump over there. The irrigator's still at home, so we'll run it over in the morning. We've got I've got water ordered, so we've got 3 megs of water coming, so we'll see how we go. Tony came over with the backhoe and dug a bit of a sump. And yeah, I've been over and what did I do? I serviced the motor. I'm just going over to shift the water now, so we've actually got to move it to another section, so I've got the telehandler here. But yeah, so changed the oil in the motor. I think it might actually have been low on oil is why we kept cutting out this morning. So yeah, we'll move it to another section. And then also had the rider mower over here because we've been bloody bit slack on spraying channels. The next section after where we finish tomorrow night, his channel is quite rubbishy, so I've sort of, as best I could, mowed up and down the channel to knock the grass out of it. So the water, it's amazing how much you don't need a lot of ryegrass in a channel to hold the water up. So anyway, we'll get over here. I'm just coming through the new block. And yeah, we'll grab the telehandler and get this pump shifted. to walk around. It's about, I don't know, the outlet where it comes out of the commission channel's just up. It's probably 100 metres, you can't see it in the dark there, might be a bit further. Yeah, ended up done pretty well so far this irrigation season, not to get a gumboot full of water, but it's just happened. It always happens at night when you're nice and clean. Anyway, the channel is a bit deeper and a bit steeper on the edge, and I sort of went in and yeah, anyway, I've got one wet sock and one dry one, so anyway, so I'll just take this telehandler back now and I'll walk down and I'll shift the monitor as well while I'm going, and then if it's, you know, 5 o'clock or 3 o'clock, we've got plenty of water here now, so we'd be pumping. We've got 8 megs coming out of the outlet, and this pump would be shifting 8 megs, like it's actually dropping the channel, so it's shifting a fair bit of water, so it won't take long. It's good. It'll sort of force the water because it hasn't been hasn't been laser graded for a long time. It's good to pump it like this because it forces the water across it, where the water probably wouldn't go if it was just running out of the outlet. So anyway, I'll leave this one. This is the end of this one. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow, stay tuned to the next one. Hopefully tomorrow we can get this irrigator going on some pretty sick looking wheat crop. But anyway, well, it is what it is. So, alrighty, thanks for watching. See you again. Ta-da.